Hello everyone, I'm back on the road again today. Today I am driving from Tirubelli to Rameswaram, which is a nice around 250 kilometers. I've just taken a pit stop because my arse is so numb. I just had a cheap bottle of Sprite, chai, a couple of bananas. Once again I actually way overslept last night, so I'm driving in the middle of the day in the midday sun, so I'm probably going to get either a really nice tan on my arms or a really nice burn on my arms. And yeah, you know what, it was a bit chaotic this morning, like driving in the city, as you can imagine. But as soon as you leave the city, like the roads are like super dead. The roads are actually surprisingly good, not much traffic, roads are actually really well paved. I mean, there is a few instances where there's some big potholes, but I'm actually surprised by the quality of the roads. Like, compared to driving in other Southeast Asian countries in the arse end of nowhere, like Indian roads are actually pretty decent. Oh, so, let's overtake this bus. So funny as well, because I don't think they see many tourists here, because honestly everybody stares at me. But number one thing to disarm an Indian is if you just look at them back and smile, they're always going to smile back, which is kind of nice, and they'll ask you where you're from. I mean, that's about as much conversation as you can get, but still cool. Fuck me. Going to look into getting some sort of like camera for my helmet, because it'd be really cool to show you what like the kind of driving conditions are like and all the things that I can see, because I'm having to stop and like film with my phone. But you just see like massive goat herds. Honestly, I've seen so many, like, I've driven through like huge wind farm today. Like, I've never seen so many wind turbines in my life. I was actually quite surprised. I didn't know they had that much infrastructure here, which is probably quite ignorant of me. It's really cool to just drive through the Indian countryside. It does not look like how you'd imagine India to look like at all. I mean, it literally looks like I could be driving in like the African savannah. It's very dry. I wouldn't be surprised to see just a lion knocking about. My arse has been getting very numb. You have to pay full concentration, so it can be a bit mentally straining. And I have noticed one thing, that in the major tourist spots, I've not really had any people trying to beg money off me. But in the past couple of places where I've not seen any other white tourists, there have been a few people like asking for money, and I mean, I do feel kind of bad. I mean, I didn't have any change. I only had 500 notes, and that's a little bit too much for me to want to give. But I mean, I think a lot of people just try it on. Like, when I was in the southern tip, I was just walking around, and this girl came over to me asking me to buy her an ice cream, and then that got upgraded to a dosa, and then that got upgraded to a sari. And at first I was like, And then loads of other people started trying to ask me for stuff, and I was like, you're not like desperate for money, you're just trying it on. Like, this girl, I could see her parents telling her no, stop. So I think some people, obviously there are people that are very poor, but I think some people will just see a tourist and kind of try it on. I would be happy to give them like 20, 50 rupees or something, but I don't have any change. It made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, just because I just want to, I'm tired, I'm driving, and I just want to stop and get a little bit of a drink, and they hang around, and it just makes you feel a bit guilty. But I'm traveling for myself, and I can feel empathy towards them. Like, obviously, like, you have to feel like a bit desperate to ask for money, but at the same time, it is a bit overwhelming sometimes, and I feel like I should probably do more, but at the same time, I sometimes I just stop. I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to do my own thing. If you get me. So I've got about another 2 and a bit hours to go. Should get there around 10 past 4. I've realised I've probably been doing this a bit fast. Like, I mean, when I got into the place yesterday, honestly didn't really see any of the town. I was just in my room, and I just had a nap, and I just slept for about 5 hours. Not really a nap then, is it? And then I slept like a full 9 hours at night, so obviously needed it. I want to find some time to edit some videos, learn a bit more. Like, I like to make some videos that have like some value, so a bit of history of India, like why do they do the things they do, just a bit more information than just a standard kind of travel video. It's so funny this morning, like you always see in films and stuff, if there's like a dial or a gauge not working, someone taps it to see if it will work. And for, like, my petrol gauge on my bike is very temperamental. Like, usually it only works after the bike's been running for about 15 minutes. And it's for, oh, I'll just do what they do on those, you know, I've seen on TV, just tap the gauge, tapped it, and it literally moved up to full. I was like, right, okay, maybe there is some kind of evidence in doing that. You know, I'm currently in this predicament as well. Like, I'm riding in the middle of the day, it's hot. And you know, you get a proper sweaty face. I put this wind guard down, but it gets really stuffy. I get a really sweaty face. So every now and then I'll open it. I also have this cool like sunglasses visor thing. But you feel so much dust in your eyes, and after every drive, I, you know, go and look in the mirror at the hotel or hostel. I've got like bits of black, like dirt stuck in the corners of my eye, dusting like that. Especially when a bus passes, loads of all that dirt gets flung up in your face. So I do tend to drive the guard down until I get too stuffy. But you know what else I've noticed as well? I mean, I'm wearing long trousers today. I'm trying to be a bit more, call it, responsible, or because I normally I'd be in flip flops and shorts. But you know, when a bus drives past or a car drives past, it flicks up all this sand and dust that's literally like red hot from being in the dirt. And it stings your skin, honestly. It feels like literally like little tiny bits of burning bits of sand hit you at high speed. It absolutely kills. So yeah, that's why I've decided to wear a bit more clothes today. But yeah, most of the time these roads are pretty empty. I mean, I'm not sure if this is meant to be a main road or what, but you don't really see many cars. As soon as you get to the city, there's so many people that stood around. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing. I mean, it's usually a lot of like older men. I guess it's like in the UK hanging around, chatting shit with their mates. Well, yeah, I'd love to know what they get up to all day, because I drive past so many people and they are literally just like, what are you doing all day? Like, some bloke sat under a tree. I'm like, is he sitting there the whole day? Like, has he got anything on? But fair play. I mean, I'd love to sit under a tree and chill all day. I mean, I could if I wanted. I can't wait to get to Rameswaram and drive up that bridge. It looks insane. Like, the views will be amazing. So I'm really excited to share that. I'll probably stay there for a couple of days because I'm a bit tired of driving so much and kind of fed up with having it in the last. I mean, originally when I was driving, I was strapping my rucksack to my back, to the back of my bike, but really didn't feel very secure. I was just anxious driving, like it's gonna fall off, and it did fall off. I think I mentioned, oh fucking hell, in the last video. Another thing about driving here, well, I mean, firstly these goats, but you'll be, when you come up to like a little village or something, there's always speed bumps, but they're meant to be painted in like, you know, white stripes, but you know, a lot of them are faded. So you'll be driving, and only in the last minute you see this bump, you have to slam on, and it's like going over a ramp, and it's a bit sketchy. I mean, I guess it's, you know, just some people absolutely dominate through the villages, which I guess is fair, you know, safer for people who live there. That is quite surprising in India. I've not seen any roadkill. Like, if I was driving just like, not even, yeah, pretty often in the UK, especially where I live in a village, I'm seeing like multiple dead things on the road. I'm not sure why there really isn't as much of that in India. Maybe it just like rots or gets moved away much faster, or stray dogs eat it. But just from my experience of the day, oh fuck, here's a speed bump. Woo! Like, I was in a tuk-tuk and you know, there's a little squirrel in the middle of the highway, and the tuk-tuk driver slowed down and honked just for it to get out of the way, and I thought, oh, that's actually really nice, isn't it? Like, having that respect for animals, whereas I know in the UK it's technically, you're not meant to brake or anything for an animal. I guess it's safer for other people, but, you know, a cute little squirrel. This is probably the longest drive that I've done in India so far. And my headphones have run out, so I've just been singing to myself, saying, looking at the views. Literally, I really wish that you could see everything, because I'd love to share what it's like to drive here. And some of the views, I'm like, sometimes I stop and get, you know, ready to get the camera out, but it's already too late. It's so funny driving and you see people who are driving with chickens on the bike. You've got like 4 people on a bike. You've got all sorts of crazy shit. Some guys, like 2 guys were on a moped before. One had like loads of farming tools. You look like they were on a war horse heading for like battle or like a jousting tournament. Just funny the way that you've got the differences in life. You'd never be getting away with that in the UK, imagine. Well, I'd say overall, I do feel pretty safe driving in India. It's way more safe than you think. I mean, it's stressful, obviously, driving in big cities. I would like to experience what it's like to drive in Bangalore, because I heard it's mad. It takes 3 hours or something to drive from one side of the city to the other. I mean, it's just an experience, isn't it? See what it's like. I guess it's like driving in London. I'm actually keeping my eyes out. I keep forgetting that elephants actually exist here. Like, imagine seeing an elephant just wading into the road. I mean, I am slightly scared because I did see this video of some German tourist on a moped getting killed by an elephant. So I think if I see one, I'm just going to turn around, because I don't think it's really worth the risk, is it? The guy was telling me actually that Indians, the elephants are a bit more dangerous at this time of year because it's quite dry and it's quite hot. And there's apparently like a scheme by the government where they dig lots of water wells for the elephants, but sometimes they dry up or they're not really doing a good enough job, so they leak or whatever. So the elephants, when they're looking for water, they actually can get quite angry and aggressive, because I mean, you'd get pretty angry and aggressive if you were looking for you hadn't had anything to drink for days. So yeah, I think that's how I was something to take into consideration. Just give a little honky honk. One thing driving through all these small Indian towns, they do look very similar to each other. There's always like, I don't really know what's going on. There's always like a few shops selling, there's always a motorbike shop, always shops selling, chai and all that. But I mean, you see here, just seeing on my left, there's a few huts which are made out of like leaves and stuff. I guess it's like a bit of a farm. Yeah, I'm gonna carry on driving. But yeah, take care.